Hello, so this is just a quick video to show how to use Blackboard Collaborate to record a lecture. So the idea is that we could use Blackboard Collaborate to record live lectures, so we could give live lectures and record them, but here I'm suggesting that we could use this to make a pre-recorded video, and this is a particularly easy way of getting set up to make some lecture videos. So the first thing we need to do is to open a browser and go to Blackboard, and then within Blackboard you just want to choose one of your units. So I'll choose here Scientific Computing, and then down here under Course Tools on the left hand side I'll choose Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. If I click that, this takes us to the session menu where you can see the list of sessions, and the idea is that those are supposed to represent live classes that you might want to, if you were scheduling for live online classes. I'm just going to create a session right now which I'm not going to tell any students about, and I'm just going to use it to record a video. So we'll call this Blackboard Recording Demo and then so there's a bunch of other options here that are relevant if you were making an actual class, this the time of the class and so on. For making a pre-recorded video, the only thing that's really relevant here is if we come under session settings, we can say allow recording downloads, and that's important if we want to be able to download the video that we've recorded. Otherwise we can just leave the video in Blackboard and make it available to the students. So I'll save that. So this here, now there is a session here called Blackboard Recording Demo. If I want to do some recording in there, I first need to join the session. So this is something like a Skype call or a Zoom call, except I'll be the only person here, so there won't be any students there. When we get in, it won't initially be recording, but I'm going to set it to record once I've got a few things set up and ready. So the first thing to do here is we have up here the session menu, and there's a start recording button there. We won't click that yet, but we'll come back to that later. So down here is where you could turn on your own webcam or share audio. So obviously for recording, I'm going to want my voice over there, but in this example I won't use my video because I'm going to talk over the slides instead. So here we can share content, and you've got whiteboard, you can share your desktop, or you can share files, and this is where you want to put your lecture slides here under the share files. So if I drag and drop my EndMaths1 lecture slides, and it takes a little while for that to load and so just while that happens, what I will demonstrate is I have another program here called Open Board. And Open Board is something that I can use with my graphics tablet for drawing equations. Okay, so I'll come back to that later. So I'm going to use that as an external program because it's better than the whiteboard that's in Blackboard itself. But it only really works well if you have a graphics tablet. So we're still not recording yet. I've got the lectures uploaded now, that's complete. So I can click Share Now. And we can see all the slides here. So if I choose a slide, we will see that it's being shared. And if there was anyone else in this live lecture, they would be able to see this. And when we start recording, that's what will show on the recording. And we can click here when we want to go to the next slide. It's quite slow moving from one slide to another. So if we start on the first slide, and this is what we want it to look like when we start recording. Okay, so now I start recording. So this is now the lecture. Welcome everyone to a lecture on linear ordinary differential equations. So I'm Oscar Benjamin, and I wrote this with Cameron Hall, and while we're here looking at these slides, I can draw over the top of them. So we're talking about differential equations here, so if I use my graphics tablet, so a differential equation looks like dx by dt equals f of x t. Okay, and if you watch the generated video of this, you'll see that it's quite jumpy, so these lines don't appear smoothly on the output. And that's the same thing when you're using the whiteboard function in Blackboard Collaborate. So that's why I've got an external program for that. So I come down to the next slide. So everyone, today we're talking about ODEs. This is the stuff we looked at last week. And now, right now, what's most important is whether ODEs are linear or non-linear. And I'm going to draw over the top here. So look, this one is linear. Okay, so that's very important. I can also highlight things using, where is it, the pointer. So this pointer makes a little hand that people can actually see on the video. Otherwise, my cursor is not visible on the recorded video. Okay, so that's all of that. So that's how we go through the slides, and we could talk over the video and do the lecture like normal. Of course, every now and again you're going to want to be able to demonstrate something to break out onto a whiteboard. And so from here, if we go back, then I choose whiteboard. So now there's a whiteboard on the screen. I can use my mouse to try and draw on it, and that looks not very good. Or I can use my graphics tablet and I can say y equals e to the x, and it's all coming out. It's not coming out very well here. Let's try that again. Y equals e to the x. So I really don't like this whiteboard within Blackboard Collaborate. So I will close that. So from here, if I want to go back to the lectures, I have to go back to share files, I have to choose that, hit share, and then go and choose a slide again. So it's forgotten where I was in the lecture slides, which is quite annoying. But if I come back here, so now I'm back to the lecture slides, and that's what will be seen on the output video. What I've found is the open board program is a better way of demonstrating equations and things. So if we come back here, back from share files, and we do share application or screen, and here I should be able to set particular programs, but on Linux it only seems to allow me to share either a tab or the entire screen. So I'll just share the entire screen, and now I can switch over to using open board. So here today we're talking about differential equations. So that's an equation that looks something like dx by dt equals f of x t. The particular kind of differential equation we want to talk about is something like d2x by dt squared plus 3 dx by dt plus 2x equals 0. And we know that we solve this using the exponential ansatz, so x equals e to the lambda t. And we're going to substitute that into the differential equation, but we also need to find out what dx by dt and d2x by dt squared are. So dx by dt, I can just differentiate this right hand side, is lambda e to the lambda t, and d2x by dt squared is lambda squared e to the lambda t. If I substitute all of that in here, I will get lambda squared e to the lambda t plus 3 lambda e to the lambda t plus 2 e to the lambda t. So what you'll notice, it takes quite a lot of getting used to using a graphics tablet, but I think once I get the hang of it, this will look fairly good. So then all that's equal to 0, so I've taken out a factor of e to the lambda t, and that's never 0, so I can ignore that. So now I have lambda plus 2, lambda plus 1 equals 0. I can take this, I can carry this over to a new board. So I select that, I'll choose add to new page, and I can put that up here. And then I can go back to writing again. So therefore x equals, so it's got a bit wrong. Let's try that again. So x equals a e to the minus 2t plus b e to the minus t. Now at the end of all of that, I can, so after the lecture for example, I could go to documents here and I can export these boards as a PDF. So I'll do export to PDF, and that will go on my desktop as 1812. And so then if I go to the desktop, so I can close open board now, and if I minimize this, oops, get this out of the way, and then this is the generated PDF file which I could then share on Blackboard with the students. And this bit that I cut is black and white, where the rest is white and black. I'm not really sure why that happens, but I could upload that for the students to see after the lecture is finished, or after I've finished recording. So coming back here to Blackboard, so that was me demonstrating something on OpenBoard. I'm still sharing my whole screen in the video, which is probably not what I want to do for too long. I could come back to the slides by going here. So I'm going to end the recording now. So within Blackboard, so I'll stop recording, and at that point now I can exit from all of here. I can exit the session as well, and at the end you always have to say what your video quality was. I'll just click skip, it will then make a stupid noise. So that stupid noise happens every time. So if I come out of here, and what we can see is we're back to the session menu in Blackboard Collaborate, and then here through this menu I can access the recordings. Okay, and so this is saying that there are no recordings found, so that's because it takes a certain amount of time for the recording to appear, but when it does appear here I'll be able to click to either watch it or to download it, because I ticked the allow downloads option when creating the session. Okay, so I think this should be a fairly straightforward way of creating lecture videos without needing too many things set up on your computer. The OpenBoard part is not necessary. I just found it a lot better than using the inbuilt whiteboard. But otherwise, all you need to make all of this work is a browser and a webcam and a microphone. So now I'll stop